Welcome back to the RPL Student Step-by-Step webinars. In our previous webinar, we were looking at completing Section B, items 1 to 6. In this webinar today, we're going to continue with Section B and we're going to review items 7 to 10 to complete Section B so that we're able to move on to the final section, Section C, and the competency conversation. So let's just remind ourselves of where we're at. So we're here on the Accelerate platform in the Recognition of Prior Learning programme, and we've gone to Course Overview, Learning Plan, and we've completed our Recognition of Prior Learning Declaration. We've completed Section A already, which consisted of the self-assessment, and we're partway through Section B. So let's take a look at where we were up to. So there's our basic information leading us into the course and providing some general information. And as we said in our last session, we discussed everything from number 1 right the way down to number 6. So we're going to take a look at today at looking at the requirements for the caregiver training record and the Empower documentation. So obviously, as part of the recognition of prior learning, we need to show evidence of previous learning, and that includes your Empower onboarding that you've done through Home Instead. And these are all the specific modules which you need to have completed. So let's run through these. So we've got your Welcome Home, Home Instead Culture, Workplace Health and Safety that sits with a number of modules sat within that Empower resource, Infection Control, Manual Handling, including a manual handling refresher, because this is the recognition of prior learning and the expectation is that you will have been with Home Instead for a year, the ACE Foundational, Intermediate and Advanced levels, Understanding Elder Abuse, Recognising Diversity, Medication Assistance, the 3 dementia care training trainer-led sessions need to be completed, and the associated assessment that sits with that, food safety for seniors, a palliative approach to care, and again with the inclusive assessment that sits with it, and as we said, the manual handling refresher. The Ambassador Programme at present is actually being updated, so that will be incorporated into a conversation to ensure that you're aware of the community care packages available to our clients as part of the Ambassador Programme. So your trainer's responsibility here will be to go into Empower and download a spreadsheet that shows that all of these modules have been fully completed and are successful. And basically, once we've done that, that spreadsheet can be forwarded to you, and you can upload that file. So in exactly the same way as we have done previously. So we're going to press on Browse Files, and we're going to go and we're going to find the relevant document. Let's pretend it's this one, and you can see it's uploaded. You can see it's uploaded because it says complete here. Don't forget, however, we do need to pop something in the box here, otherwise our trainer can't see the submission. So our test student here is Billy Thornton, so I'm just going to pop the name in there. And don't forget to press Save and Next. Okay, so our next section, Section 8, is a reflective review of the ACE modules, so the Aged Care Education modules, so your foundations, intermediate and advanced modules. So don't forget, obviously you've probably completed these a little while ago if you're applying for the RPL course, so you can access those again by going into Empower, pressing the completed ring, and that will bring up all of your previously completed assessments, and you can go in and take a look and refresh your memory on what was actually in each of those ACE modules. So let's take a look at the first session here, so ACE First Trainer Discussion. Now you can have this as a discussion with your trainer, or alternatively you can document it yourself, but we do need evidence if it's a conversation or you've done this yourself, submitted on this form, please. So we can see here we've basically got some questions relating to each of the topics discussed in the ACE modules. So this first question here, what is your understanding of your legal and ethical requirements of your role, and how do you apply the legal and ethical requirements? So again, just going back into your ACE modules and reviewing that content to ensure that you're providing a well-researched answer. So once we've completed all of this form, please make sure you've signed it yourself. and also including your trainer's name, and you pop the date on there. So we can save that to our desktop, and then we can go back in and upload that. So again, we've got the same thing with these intermediate ACE modules, and of course with the advanced modules as well. So once we've completed all three of those, again, we're just going to pop our initials, or if you've got something that you need to state to your trainer, you can pop that in there. And again, we're going to go into Browse Files and locate those three documents. So you can hold the Shift button down and upload all three if you want to, and press Open, and there we go. They've all uploaded there. It's saying it's complete. Just remember, we've got to save that and press Next, and it will take us to our next requirement. So the next requirement is a journal. Now this is a reflective journal of the care that you've provided to clients in the community. Now it's ideally it's a reflective journal over at least 3 months of care provision, and that can be retrospective, so things that have already happened, so you don't need to wait 3 months and then start it. It can be based on care that you've provided already. So let's take a look at that. Let's download that from the hyperlink just here. And you can see it's come as a Word document at the bottom of my screen. And so basically we're just working through, as I said, using examples of what you have previously done out with care delivery and the experiences that you've had with your clients. Now just to be aware please, this first question is talking about recognising diversity, and it's looking at the concept of bias. And it asks you to reflect on and identify any bias or limited understanding you may have gained awareness of during your time working with people of diverse cultural backgrounds. So in this question, I'm really looking for you to really try and understand if you do have any bias, where it comes from, and to try and identify how you can overcome that. So generally, overcoming bias is because of a lack of knowledge or information in a certain area. So we can empower ourselves to learn more about different cultures, different countries, different traditions, religions, spiritual beliefs, by researching and educating ourselves. So I'm really looking in this section here that you explore those concepts, and if you've got limited understanding perhaps of a culture, then how are you going to go about ensuring that you gain some knowledge to really benefit our clients and make sure that we're providing person-centred care that respects their culture, their traditions, their history. So same thing with this as with the ACE modules there. You just need to go through and complete all of the questions, please. And again, at the end, just make sure you've provided your trainer's name, you've signed it and dated it as well. And of course, we're going to save that to wherever you need to save it. And then we'll go in and we will upload that completed journal in Accelerate. So again, we're just going to pop our students' initials here, and we're going to go in, Browse Files, and find our journal. I'm going to double click on there, so it's uploaded, and that's saying it's complete. So I'm going to press Save and Next. We've now got a section here, any other related evidence. Now, you may well have perhaps first aid certificates, whereas an example we've used in previous recordings. If there's any other evidence, perhaps if you've worked externally from home instead and you perhaps want to submit pay slips as evidence of hours accumulated, bearing in mind we need over 120 hours of work placement evidence, then you can submit that information here. So again, we're just going to go in, we're going to pop our initials, we're going to go into Browse Files, and we're going to find the relevant piece of documentation. Again, we can see it's complete, and we're going to press Save. Okay, so I have now submitted everything in each category. In our previous recording we went through everything from points 1 to 6, and now we've submitted documentation right the way down to 10, and you can see now that it's come up with this Submit Assessment button. So we can go ahead and submit that to our trainer so that it goes ahead for marking. Now, we've got a student declaration here that we do just need to sign, and it says, I confirm that the work submitted is my own. None of this work has been completed by another person. Now, the student's name is Billy Thornton, so we're signing signature and Submit Assessment. Now this will be submitted and it will go ahead to your trainer for your trainer to mark via Accelerate, and then you can actually move on. You don't need to wait for this to be marked. You can move on to section C and take a look at that, the requirements that you've got for your competency conversation coming up as the last part of your assessment.